Welcome to video 3, Assignments in Canvas using Google Docs, and in this video we will be discussing creating rubrics. So here's where we left off last time. The assignment had been created and assigned to the students. This is the screen that pops up for the teacher, and you'll notice that right here is a button that says Add Rubric. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that button. And down here we see that another box pops up. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is to change that title there, and I'm going to give this the title of my assignment, which I said was homework. Then I'm going to look at this piece right here. This is the current rubric, and so I would have to modify this, and I would have to do that for each question. And I don't want to do that if several of the questions are going to be the same, so the first 3 questions were all vocabulary questions, and I've already created a rubric for vocabulary words. So I click on vocabulary words and go to vocabulary outcomes, and you can see this is the rubric that I've created, so I'm just going to click import. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the generic one that they had put there, and I had 3 vocabulary questions, so I'm going to do that 3 times, 1 for each question. Vocabulary outcomes, import. Okay. And for the 3rd question, import. Okay. So now I have a rubric that I've already created, and this is basically what it says. If they give me a complete definition, I'll give them 5 points. Incomplete definition, 4 points. Incorrect definition, I'm still going to give them 2 points, but if they don't do anything at all, they get 0 points. And I've entered that rubric in 3 times. Now for the last 2 questions, they weren't vocabulary words, they were different. So I'm going to want to add something different for those. So what I'm going to show you here is how to add a rubric. Okay, I'm going to do that twice, 1 for each question. So you'll see again, let's say I want to make them worth 5 points, and this says full marks, no marks. Total of 5 points. What I want to do is create that to match what I want it to be. So I can edit that by clicking on the pencil. Okay, and so for this I want to show correct answer and shows understanding. Okay, because they had to also give their steps that they were showing. Okay, and for 0, let's put just incorrect or no answer. And they would get 0 points if they are incorrect in their answer or they gave no answer. But I want to have some things in between, so I go right here and I click on the arrow. Now a new category has popped up between 5 and 0, and so I can click on the pencil here, and I would want to give it a description. Let's say that they got the correct answer but no understanding. Okay, and let's give them 2 points. Okay, so back that up, give them a 2. And this gives them 2 points if they did get the correct answer, but they didn't show any understanding. And I can also show for 4 points, maybe they made a computation mistake, but they showed a lot of good understanding. So, incorrect answer, I could type, incorrect, but shows understanding. Okay, so there we go, and I'm going to stop right there, but you could add as many different subcategories as you wish for that rubric. Now there were 2 questions like that, so I'm going to have to repeat that particular rubric. I will show you how to put them where you can get them in Find Outcome so that you don't have to repeat them, because once you've created a rubric you might be able to use it several times. But in this case, since I don't have that, I'm going to have to add a criteria. Okay, and again, I didn't put in a description of criteria, so let's go back up here and put in, just put math question or problem, however you want to state it. Okay. And I'm trying to be generic here because it is going to vary from person to person, how you want to record these and how you want to look at them and how you want to set up your rubrics. So this one again, correct answer and shows understanding. And that is worth 5 points. And for 0 points, we had decided that was incorrect or no answer. And now you can see that I've got that rubric filled out. This particular one, I had a typo in there. So again, you just go into edit, and if there's a mistake, you can correct that mistake when you're done. Click OK. And so now I have the rubric set up and ready to go. And so I'm going to click Update Rubric. I believe it says something else. If you haven't already done, click that button once, but I went back and so it says Update Rubric, and that's exactly what I want to do. Now it does remind me, I think I made the assignment originally worth 15 points, and now I've got 5 questions worth 5 points each. So it's asking me, do I leave it at 15 points, or do I change it to 25 points? So I'm going to change it. Okay, so now it will adjust when I update the rubric. Notice that instead of being worth 15 points, this assignment is now worth 25 points. Okay. And another thing that's important to do, okay, is this has already been published. So if a student would have gotten on this when I saved and published it, if a student would have gotten on this, it would have changed after they would have received it. So you probably don't want to publish it until you've hit this stage of the process. Okay, so it's published and it's ready to go. And what you see now that you've added a rubric, you have the speed grader here. Now when you click on the speed grader at this point, you have no submissions yet. I'm one student here, but I have not taken the assignment yet, so there's no grading. Although at this point I can view the rubric. Okay, but we'll get back to that after we've had a submission, kind of show you what that looks like. One thing I wanted to do before I finished up this video was to show you about adding those outcomes so that you don't have to create the rubrics from scratch for each question. So again, you're going to want to go into a class, go to Outcomes, and I'm going to pick a new outcome. Let's name this one Math Problems. And you can give it a friendly, shorter name if you wish. And you would want to describe that outcome. So I've added a description. Use this outcome when grading problems where students are asked to show their work. And then I just need to set up how I want that particular problem to be graded. So there's 5 points already, but instead of exceeds expectation, I wanted to say correct answer and shows understanding. And I click OK. And in the same way I would adjust here for 0 points, I just no answer or wrong answer. For 3 points, and let me adjust that to match what we did before, make that 2 points. So 2 points, they have the correct answer, but little or no understanding, or maybe they didn't show any understanding. And again, if I want to add another category in there for 4 points, I could say they have the wrong answer, but showed understanding. Click OK. So now I have my rubric set up. I want to make sure that before I leave here, I can set my mastery level. So maybe I want mastery to be set at 4. So even if they get the problem wrong, if they show me the understanding, they've got mastery. Then I can look at different things here, options that I have. But last thing, and I can change those later if I want, but then I just need to save it. So you can edit the outcome at any time. I can take this outcome, I can drag it into other folders. So I might create a folder that says math rubrics, and then I can use those when I go back to the assignment, manage rubrics. Okay, so I've saved it. I go into homework, which was the assignment that I had created. I want to edit this assignment. Let's say that I didn't have those last two questions done, and I don't want to create them from scratch, so I go to find outcomes. I use the math problems outcome, and I import that. And I do it twice because I had two problems that were the same, that would use the same rubric. Okay, now I update that rubric, and there it is for my grading purposes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is what this looks like on the student side, and maybe that's a video you might even want to share with your students at some point.